See, that's about it. She was concerned that this wouldn't be well received, but we all smoke pot, right? Okay, the next speakers we have signed up here are Tom and Gordana Leonard. Come on up, Gordon. Oh, well, thank you for your courage regardless. You want to use the staircase? Just if you stand in front of the speakers, it'll feed back. Gordana is one of our most dedicated demonstrators every day for the last, every Monday for the last 8 weeks. So, do we have a hand just for that? Out on the road.
I guess this is really what I would like to just mention to those who are here. Come and join us. I don't know what your buttons are. I have many buttons. For all I know, I've been working on many barricades over many lifetimes. But one of the recent ones for me was reading, for instance, that about 100 million Americans these days are either living in poverty or on the edge of poverty. If it is your button, come and join me with my side, because we want economic justice. If you don't like the fact that 46.2 million American kids are going to bed hungry, at least many times a month, come and join us. If you have friends, relatives, whoever it is, who are more, how shall I say, activists than you are, who are perhaps more passionate, more outgoing, tell them to go in your place. I'd love to see numbers. There is power in numbers. And in case you think that you may not look the part, there are no parts that are not represented. I'm a raging granny, or as my granddaughter called me from college said the other day, I'm calling you for my loving and raging granny. I'm so proud that you are you. So we are people of my age, and of pretty much any age, wearing any clothes that we feel like, carrying any size sign, saying anything that we believe in and don't want for ourselves, for our progeny, for our country. And come, Mondays, and give it a try.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you, Gordana. I'm a little disheveled here, I apologize. The next speaker is Jeff Turner. Hi, Jeff. Hi.
Thank you. Well, hi, everyone. I'm here, with your permission, to tell you a little bit about the Green Party of the United States. I'm the treasurer of the GPUS, and I spend about 20-30 hours a week on email and some conference calls, and we're a little cautious about being too aggressive at Occupy. It started as very apolitical in New York, and slowly it sounds like it's being accepting of learning about some political solutions. So I'd like to read you the top 10 reasons to go green. I'm at the third table on the right. In the middle, I have petitions to keep the Green Party on the ballot in the state of Hawaii. If everybody here that's a registered voter would come sign the petition on the break, I'd have about half of the rest of what we need to be on the ballot for the next 10 years. There are people in Ottawa that's working on this, and we're just about there. So, top 10 reasons to go green. Green Party takes no monetary contributions from corporations. That's the cornerstone of freedom and democracy. The Green Party strongly opposed President Bush's invasion of Iraq, while Democrats lined up to support it. The Green Party demands an end to U.S. dependence on oil, coal, and nuclear power. The Green Party calls for national health insurance. The Green Party supports living wages for every working American, and strong democratic unions. The Green Party calls for a halt to war on drugs and thousands of drug laws. The Green Party says the corporations have no right to take people's homes. The Green Party helps community leaders to run for political office, and that's where we get some power and get to solve some problems we have. While Democrats remain silent, Greens challenged vote manipulation in Ohio and New Mexico on Election Day in 2004, or else we might have had a different president then. The Green Party is dedicated to power the people to control their own lives. I have some copies of this. I have some copies of our platform. You can go to gp.org, and there are pages and pages and pages of information about the Green Party. One interesting fact you may not know, especially if you haven't been here for 20 years, in 1992, Keiko Blanc was elected to the county council from Kabu, was the first contested partisan Green win in the country. And since then, she and then Bob Jacobson and Julie Jacobson held that seat for 10 out of the 12 years running, and that's the longest running Green dynasty in the country. So this island is a bright spot in the Green project to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Our next speaker is Randall Rupar. Hey there. How are you?
Well, first off, I want to really thank Herman for just give him a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. And hey, Jeff, you're awesome. Go Green. And what's interesting is that we've got the 99% and the 1%. Yeah. And a lot of people really believe that money's evil, okay? But money's green, marijuana's green, plants are green, and we want to go green. So I was just, I follow this on the internet maybe much too often, and go on YouTube and all of those things, and I look and see what everybody else is saying, including Michael Moore and all of the the people who make a difference. And one of my real idols is Deepak Chopra. I'm sure you know who he is, yeah? Well, he just did his own YouTube, which I thought was awesome, because you could see him fooling around with the camera. And he said, hey, you know what, people? He said, I'm part of the 1%, because I make almost $500,000 a year. But I want to tell you something, that I really believe in the other 99%. And I kept on thinking about, what does that mean? And he said, you know what you got to do? You got to occupy yourself. You have to be the one that you've been waiting for. You have to be the one to make the choice. You have to be the one that takes this green, right? This is your vote. This is the vote. If you believe in something, if you believe in regards to organics, if you believe, I'm involved with a lot of what I call the local agriculture. Agriculture. Not agribusiness. Agriculture. Culture exists around our ability to grow and to consume healthy foods. Let's do that. Support your farmers markets. Buy local. And as Jeff was saying, this island, Big Island, we are the ark for the world. This island, the whole world can look at, and we can be an example of what we believe in. So let's do it. Let's all really give ourselves that initiative and that power, because we are the powerful ones. No one can really make us do anything that we do not want to do. Give yourself that ability to do this. Give yourself the ability to turn to another person and say, hey, I need some help. Or, hey, can I help you? Whoa, what a concept. Can I help you? Wow, interesting. So, hey, thank you all, and we're one. Aloha.
That was fantastic. That was very inspirational. Thank you. Let's have another hand for Randall on that, huh? I didn't realize the mic went that loud. Okay. The next person up would be Stephen Sakala. Let's have a hand, please. This is great, huh? I think this is the first time since I've been in Hawaii 20 years, I don't remember ever sitting down with people talking directly about our own survival like we are now. Here you go, Steve.
I'd like to also thank Herman and everybody that helped put today on. So another round for everyone's sake. A little bit more around education. If any of you haven't seen Inside Job, it was the Academy Award-winning documentary last year. Excellent as far as the information we saw today. Thank you, Sandra. But also goes a little bit more into detail about how the regulations have been changed. So if you get a chance, check that out. The reason I decided to come up today is I am a proponent, maybe a little bit more radical than some, of continuing direct action to change the system. The system that still exists, I think it still needs to have tweaks to it, obviously, if not completely crumble. So I think that everything on your list that you have there to vote for is a solutionary step. And I think that the solutionary steps are the way that we need to go and we need to focus on. But I'm also a proponent of the two-pronged approach. I think we need to keep the pressure on the corporations and on the politicians. So I'm volunteering to head up a direct action group for any of you that might be interested. And that will be to come up collectively in a consensus manner of what we might like to do to keep that pressure on the corporations and politicians. The last thing I want to say is that I'd like to offer a caution around perpetual growth. Some of the solutions that I see being put up here are around adding jobs and growing the economy. I think that we've hit the wall. I think that we need to get past the idea of perpetual growth as a way to entertain wealth. We're at 7 billion people, and the resources are dwindling. So I think that anything we think about as far as solutions needs to be based on a sustainable economy, a local economy. I'd like to echo the words that Randall said. It really does have to stay local. It has to be sustainable. Hawaii has a chance to be the model. We're here together, and we're creating that model right now. So thank you for all being here.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen, you have a farm, right, in South Kona, Kona Farm? Yeah. I know he's putting his money where his mouth is. He's got a great sustainable organic farm, and I know we can talk about that more in length. The next person on the list is Betsy Morgan. Can you come on up, Betsy? We have a hand for her, please. See, the trick is we have to go on until they get up here, and then they sit. Here you go, Betsy.
Hi, it's good to see you all. I'd like to tell you about the word underemployed. We all know what unemployed is. Can you hear me okay? A little closer? All right, fine. Underemployed. I have a friend who's a hard-working guy. He's worked all his life. He works in Kona here, makes a little over minimum wage. He's dedicated, reliable, hard worker. You know what? Next month he's moving into his van because he can't afford housing anymore. He can't live on what he makes and he wants to work. He is working 40 hours a week, but he's moving into his van. So I'm here to say that people who work in America need to make that work, and it doesn't yet. And I also want to tell you about the other protest movements I've been involved in, what I missed, and why I'm here. I wouldn't miss this today for anything. Well, back in 1962, I protested against segregation of black and whites in the South, and we won. We won civil rights. But I miss Martin Luther King's speech in Washington, D.C., the March of Washington. I wouldn't miss this today, because this is the beginning. And in 1964, I protested and marched against the Vietnam War. We stopped that war, didn't we? Right. But I missed the big demonstration at the Lincoln Memorial. I wouldn't miss this today. And in 1970, I began a hippie commune. We didn't call them sustainable farms or sustainable agriculture then, but that's what it was. But I didn't go to Woodstock. I missed that, but I wouldn't miss this today. Anyways, here we are, and what I stand for is making working in America work for Americans. That's what I have to say. I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker up is Joe Castle. Do we have a Joe Castle? Here he is. Let's have a hand for Joe, please. Joe is another dedicated demonstrator. He's out on the road every Monday. Thank you.
Hey folks, so I didn't miss Woodstock. I did the whole civil rights strike for desegregating our schools and protested the war. I was lucky during the draft. It was an election year, so my number was 5 shy being drafted. I was out of the country, wasn't going to come back. Anyway, I have a preference for some of the amorphous roots of this Occupy movement, and to me, it's phenomenal. I always kind of felt like a fish out of water. I was way too political for all the Oming crowd in my generation, and I was way too spiritual for the Maoists. I just kind of didn't fit in a lot of those things. And this one's pulling a lot of people together that are really not into the whole Maoist thing, and we see where that got them, didn't it? Anyway, so we have to create our own alternative, which I think is what we've been doing for a long time. Those of us who have roots that deep have, in a lot of ways, whether it's the solar panels or growing our own food or raising our children not in the public school system, actually trying to teach them how to think, other minor details like that. So I think we've got a great start. And seeing this coming together, I'm as enthusiastic as anyone. I want to get to my one direct action plan. I can't remember whether it was Milwaukee or Detroit or Chicago or something, but some desperate single woman who was about to get evicted contacted the local Occupy people, and probably someone here knows where that was, but they moved in, and they moved into her yard, and they moved into her house. And when the sheriff came to evict her, that wasn't going to happen. And I would like to create a phone tree. I'm probably one of the last people here who doesn't have a cell phone, so I'm not sure how I'm going to fit into this loop. But if we had a phone tree, and maybe someone with better organizational skills than I, when people are facing eviction, if we could publicize the first 3 numbers and get the word out, and when the sheriff comes, they just got to stall and hit those numbers. And I'm a doctor, I will walk out of my office, I don't care, and I will put my body on the line, and I've never understood how we can let our neighbors be evicted. And that's my idea of a direct action. Let's stop it. And by the way, that woman, the bank contacted her the next day and renegotiated. And just to bring it home,